Dear viewers, today we will look back at 15 gay people who passed away in the tragic year 2000 that we have never heard of before. Let's get started. James Baldwin was a towering figure in American literature and a fierce advocate for civil rights. Baldwin's writing, which tackled themes of race, identity, and sexuality, helped to reshape the cultural landscape of mid-20th century America. His novel Giovanni's Room, one of the first novels to depict a gay relationship in an open and nuanced way, made him a critical figure in the LGBTQ+ literary canon. Baldwin's work continues to inspire and challenge readers, especially those in the LGBTQ+ community, who identify with his explorations of queer identity and race. Baldwin passed away from cancer in 1987, but his influence remained undiminished in the years following his death. Christopher Isherwood was an English-American writer, best known for his novel Goodbye to Berlin, which portrayed the tumultuous life in pre-World War II Berlin and later became the basis for the musical Cabaret. Isherwood's work dealt extensively with sexuality and identity, often exploring his own experiences as a gay man in a time of societal repression. His long-term relationship with artist Don Bachardy, with whom he spent the final decades of his life, was a touchstone for many in the LGBTQ+ community. Isherwood's death in 1986 was a loss to the literary world, but his writing, particularly in A Single Man, continues to resonate as a poignant exploration of love and queer identity. Claude Jarmin Jr. was a former child actor known for his role in the 1946 film The Yearling, which earned him an Academy Award nomination. Although he did not publicly identify as LGBTQ+ during his career, Jarmin later became involved in advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights in his post-acting years. He helped bring visibility to queer issues within the broader context of Hollywood's LGBTQ+ struggles and paved the way for future generations of out actors. His advocacy for equality and his posthumous recognition as a member of the LGBTQ+ community contributed to the visibility of older, closeted actors coming out later in life. Jackie Curtis was an avant-garde performer, playwright, and one of the original drag queens of New York City's Warholian underground scene in the 1970s and 1980s. A member of Andy Warhol's Factory, Curtis was a close collaborator with other LGBTQ+ icons, such as Lou Reed and John Waters. Known for pushing the boundaries of gender and sexuality in her performances, Curtis challenged societal norms with her drag artistry and explored themes of bisexuality, gender nonconformity, and LGBTQ+ identity in her works. Jackie Curtis passed away from a heroin overdose at the age of 52, leaving behind a powerful legacy in queer theater and performance art. Robert Mapplethorpe was an influential American photographer whose work pushed the boundaries of artistic expression, particularly in how it addressed themes of sexuality, homoeroticism, BDSM, and the human body. Mapplethorpe's provocative images of men in intimate and often explicit settings became a central part of debates around freedom of expression, art, and the LGBTQ+ community, particularly during the 1980s and 1990s. His work was controversial, but also groundbreaking, helping to bring LGBTQ+ issues into the cultural mainstream. Mapplethorpe died from AIDS-related complications in 1989, but his legacy as one of the most important figures in contemporary photography continued to be recognized well into the 2000s. Tony Kushner was a renowned American playwright and screenwriter, best known for his groundbreaking work Angels in America, a gay fantasia on national themes. The play, which explores the intersection of the AIDS epidemic, homosexuality, politics, and the American dream during the 1980s, won multiple prestigious awards, including the Pulitzer Prize for Drama. Kushner's work was deeply influential in how the theater community approached LGBTQ+ narratives. A passionate advocate for civil rights, he used his platform to speak on social justice issues, including LGBTQ+ rights. His death from cancer in 2000 was a profound loss for both the LGBTQ+ community and the world of theater. His legacy lives on in his many plays, screenwriting, and his tireless advocacy. Paul Monette was an American writer and AIDS activist who became one of the most prominent voices of the LGBTQ+ community during the AIDS crisis of the 1980s and 1990s. His deeply personal memoir, Borrowed Time, an AIDS memoir, chronicled his experiences of caring for his partner, Roger Horwitz, who succumbed to AIDS. Monette's emotional and searing prose gave voice to the grief and despair of the epidemic while exploring themes of love, loss, and identity. He also wrote the National Book Award-winning Last Watch of the Night, further cementing his place in LGBTQ+ literature. His own death from AIDS-related complications in 2000 left an enduring legacy for LGBTQ+ writers and activists, particularly those affected by the AIDS epidemic. Howard Ashman was a legendary American lyricist and playwright, best known for his work with Disney on the films The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. His lyrics became an integral part of Disney's Renaissance in the late 1980s and early 1990s, and many of his songs, such as Under the Sea and Be Our Guest, remain iconic in Disney's musical catalog. Ashman, however, was also part of the LGBTQ+ community, and although his sexuality was not widely discussed during his life, it was later revealed that he was gay and died of complications from AIDS in 1991. His work continues to be celebrated by audiences worldwide, and in 2000, the release of the documentary Howard shed light on his life, further elevating his impact on the LGBTQ+ community. Dorothy Arner was a pioneering female director in the male-dominated film industry during Hollywood's golden age. Arner's films were known for their innovative storytelling and strong female characters, and she was one of the few women who held a significant directing role in the 1930s and 1940s. Though Arner was never openly gay, later research revealed that she had relationships with women, and her life is now considered a significant part of LGBTQ+ history in cinema. She is also celebrated for her contributions to feminism and for being an early mentor to women in the film industry. Larry Levan was an influential DJ, music producer, and one of the primary figures in the creation of New York's house music scene. As the resident DJ at the Paradise Garage, Levan helped shape the sound and culture of the 1970s and 1980s LGBTQ+ nightlife. His innovative mixing techniques and ability to create an atmosphere of joy and freedom for LGBTQ+ dancers made the Garage a legendary venue for the community. Levan's death in 1992 from HIV/AIDS complications was a great loss to the LGBTQ+ music scene, but his influence on dance music, particularly house music, remains profound and enduring. Jack Larson was an American actor who gained fame for playing the role of Jimmy Olsen in the Superman television series that aired in the 1950s. While Larson was not publicly open about his sexuality during his acting career, he later came out as gay and became an outspoken advocate for LGBTQ+ rights. His later life was marked by his activism, and he used his platform to promote the visibility of older LGBTQ+ individuals in Hollywood, where closeted identities were common. Larson's role in the Superman series, combined with his public coming out, made him an important figure in the history of LGBTQ+ representation in film and television. Billy Tipton was a jazz musician who gained notoriety for living as a man despite being assigned female at birth. Tipton's secret transgender identity was revealed after his death, and his passing sparked widespread conversations about gender identity and the challenges faced by transgender individuals, particularly in the context of a career in the public eye. Tipton's story is often regarded as one of the earliest high-profile examples of a transgender person navigating life in a time when such identities were scarcely understood or accepted. His legacy remains a significant part of transgender history in America. Stanley Kunitz was a renowned American poet whose works focused on themes of life, death, and identity. Although he did not publicly identify as gay during his lifetime, Kunitz's personal relationships, particularly with poet James Merrill, were later revealed to be central to his emotional and creative life. Kunitz's poetry often reflected a deep sensitivity to human relationships and the complexities of identity, which resonated with LGBTQ+ readers. He was appointed UFLA Poet Laureate in 2000, just months before his death, cementing his legacy as one of the most respected figures in American poetry. Although Gertrude Stein passed away in 1946, her influence remained prominent throughout the 20th century and into the 21st. Known for her avant-garde writing style, Stein's works, including Three Lives and the autobiography of Alice B. Toklas, challenged traditional narratives of gender, sexuality, and art. Stein's long-term relationship with Alice B. Toklas became one of the most famous lesbian partnerships in literary history. And Stein's work has been celebrated as foundational in both LGBTQ+ literature and modernist art. Her legacy continues to inspire writers and artists today. Ruth Ellis was one of the oldest openly lesbian women in the United States at the time of her death, just a few months shy of her 101st birthday. Her life story is a testament to resilience and courage as she became an important figure in the history of LGBTQ+ activism. Ellis was an outspoken advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, particularly for marginalized LGBTQ+ people of color, and she worked as a social worker in Detroit, where she helped many in the community. In 1999, a documentary film titled Living with Pride, Ruth Ellis at 100 was released, showcasing her remarkable life. Ruth Ellis's impact on LGBTQ+ history is immeasurable, and her passing in 2000 marked the end of an era for LGBTQ+ elders, yet her story continues to inspire.